You're standing in your kitchen at 7 o'clock in the morning. You're pouring coffee while a voice in your head is going, "Where is your water? Where is your water?" And you pour it anyway. Yeah. And then you carry that around all day, like evidence against yourself. I should have had the water. I should have had the water. A woman described exactly that to me this week. Then she said, "Why can I not be consistent?" And I want to answer that, but I'm going to tell you up front, the answer isn't discipline. And by the end of this, I'm going to give you the one thing to do differently the next time you catch yourself in that kitchen, because it takes about 4 seconds and it's the opposite of what you'd expect. So first, what she told me before that, okay? She said, "I can't quit beating myself up." And then she said, "It never feels like enough. It never feels like enough of anything." Now listen to what this woman is actually doing, right? She's doing Pilates twice a week. She's booking out those appointments like months ahead. She's prearranged sessions for a trip so she wouldn't lose momentum. She's doing more than most people do in a year. And for her, it isn't enough, like in her own mind, because she skipped a walk on Tuesday. Does this sound familiar? You do 6 things right, and you lie there at night thinking about the 7th, the one thing. So let's take the question apart, because I think it's the wrong question. When you ask, "Why can't I be consistent?" you've already answered it. Yeah. You've decided it's about your character. You've decided it's about your discipline. Somewhere underneath, it's your worth. But consistency it's not a personality trait that got handed out to the other women and it just like skipped you. Consistency is actually capacity. It's something you spend, and you can't spend what you don't have. Let me show you what I mean. Think about a trail through the woods. You walk the same path over and over and it wears down smooth. No thinking required, right? Your feet, they just go. It's your habit. That's the coffee. Now, the new path, the water instead, right? The walk, the routine, the trail, it doesn't exist yet. So you're cutting through like new brush every single time, and it's slow and it costs you, right? It takes longer. It takes more effort. It's just, it's not a well-worn path. And here's the part that nobody tells you, right? Cutting a new trail takes real physical energy from your brain. Walking the old one, it literally takes none. So when your body is in survival mode, when it's borrowing the energy just to get you through the day, which is what I call the survival task, it won't fund the new trailblazing, right? It just won't. It can't. It can't. So it puts you straight down that worn path every time, because a depleted system takes whatever is the easiest, cheapest way every single time. So it's not that your consistency is failing you. It's that your capacity was already spent before you walked into the kitchen, before your day even started. And then look, what do we do about it? Right? So she told me about a program that she started, right? She was all in with her words. And then she said, "I started drowning." And that was the end of it. You know that pattern. You go all in, every change at once, all the rules, full effort. You're excited. It's like this honeymoon period. And for like 2 or 3 weeks, it just works for will. And then your body, it sends you the bill and the whole thing collapses. And what do you decide about yourself? It's like you decide that you failed, that you can't stick to anything, that you can't do anything. And so the next time that you go in and do it, it's like you go in harder. You try to prove that you can, and it drains you even faster. And that then becomes like this loop. So it was never about sticking to it. It's an attempt to spend capacity that you don't have over and over and over and over and over again. And there's one more thing she named, and I want to give it real weight here because almost nobody talks about it. I asked her what her biggest obstacle was. What was her biggest obstacle? And she didn't say motivation. She said it was her environment. She was living with people in the same boat she's in, eating the same way she's trying not to. And her words were, there just isn't the support there. And that matters enormously in all of our programs at South Bay Wellness. When we're using the body light method, that support system is really important. We support the heck out of our clients from me, from our health coach. We meet as a community because that matters. Because willpower is what you use when your environment is working against you. And every time the thing that you don't want, like when it's right there in front of you, somebody put a box of cookies on the counter, it's like you pay. And you pay out of the same account that we've been talking about all along. So when you're building capacity, don't start with discipline. Start with what surrounds you. Don't make the pot of coffee, right? Boil the water for tea instead. Make the path easy. Make the easy path the one that you actually want. So you're not weak for needing that. You're running an honest budget. It's just being honest with yourself. So that brings me to the 4-second thing that I promised you at the beginning. So the next time you catch yourself doing the thing you don't want to do, like pouring the coffee, skipping the walk, or missing your water, like whatever yours is, don't beat yourself up. What I want you to do is actually stop and get curious instead. Because beating yourself up doesn't get you anywhere. Instead, actually ask, what's happening right now? Why am I doing this? Like imagine you're like a fly on the wall. You want to think about like a child. If you're trying to understand a child's behavior and your response was to punish that child every single time, you would never learn what was actually going on with that child and why they were doing that thing. Never. They'd just get better at hiding it from you. And that's what we do to ourselves, right? We just beat ourselves up for whatever that thing is that we did that we didn't really want to do. But then we just find other ways to do it. And then the guilt and the shame and all of that comes with it. But instead, get curious about the behavior. And when you do, something different will actually get revealed. And whatever that is for you, it's different for all of us. So do the same with yourself. The second that you come at these behaviors, I'm going to call them self-sabotage behaviors, come at them from a space of curiosity instead of punishment. And when you do, you create that access to change because punishment just teaches you to hide from yourself. And that's not what we want to do. We actually want you to understand yourself better. Because when we learn and we understand, we actually can make different choices and decisions. We're no longer handcuffed to that same pattern happening over and over again. Okay. And once you get that, here's how you actually start cutting the trail, right? It's smaller than you think. So there's a book that I love by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And if I had to like boil down the whole thing, it's like when you wake up in the morning, everything floods in. Okay. And honestly, it's usually not the good stuff. So then you do your day the way that you've always done it. It's you're doing it the way that you remember who you are. So your routine isn't only a routine, your routine is an identity that you continue to rerun. So shake it, right? Not with something enormous, but with something like almost silly, like brush your teeth with the other hand. Drive the place that you drive every day, but use different roads to take instead. Do it on purpose. And I know it sounds like nothing, right? It sounds like nothing, but you're showing your own brain that the worn path isn't the only path. Okay. You're practicing being a person who chooses. And by practicing it on something with like no emotional weight attached to it, it works. So try it on the coffee and you'll white knuckle it. Try it on your toothbrush and you'll just do it. Here's why this matters more than it sounds, because the self-blame isn't neutral. Every morning you fail your own standard. And that failure becomes one more thing. And one more thing that your nervous system is now carrying, right? More pressure. You move deeper into survival mode. You end up with less capacity tomorrow, which makes the next attempt even harder. So do you see, like, this is a loop. Beating yourself up isn't motivation. It's another tax on an account that's already overdrawn. It, they're in that loop, like 10 years into that loop, and there they still are. And it's not that they're lazy. They're not, they're usually like the most disciplined people I've ever sat with. You know, they're successful in their careers or doing the thing. They've been spending all that discipline on the wrong thing. So the way out is actually going to sound backwards. You don't need more discipline. You're already carrying more than most people will ever have. You actually need to create more capacity. You need to get your body out of survival. Stop paying that survival tax every day. You'll have the energy to create those new trails. And the consistency that you keep beating yourself up for, right? About starts happening. It's not because you finally get strict enough with yourself that you're successful. It's because your body could actually finally afford it, have the capacity for it. So it's not like you're failing. You were just trying to like spend money that you didn't have, right? Just overdrawn. So build capacity before you build habits. That's what the body-led method that I've created is actually built on. And it's exactly why the free thing I made is so small, you guys. I want you to take advantage of it. It's a 21-day nervous system calibration challenge. Excuse me. I'm going to text you 2 tiny actions a day. They take 30 seconds or less. It's 3 weeks long. It's not a program. There's nothing to fail. You do it when you can do it. It's so small. Okay. But it's small enough that a depleted body can actually do it, which is honestly the entire point. It's why we created it. It's free and I've linked it below. go.thisisdrz.com/nervous system. And by the way, if you've got a friend who keeps calling herself lazy, who keeps going through this same trap and beating herself up, when she's like anything but lazy, undisciplined, send this to her because she probably needs to hear it too. All right. This is Dr. Z.